Let's do what we didn't do on the TV version of us. Let's talk about other stuff. Hi, this is Outnumbered Overtime. OT, baby. Stephen Hayes is here. We talked
Happy Monday.
Happy Monday.
That was definitely
That's
Monday.
There was a
OT.
band called the Happy Mondays.
Yes, that's absolutely
you
right.
remember that?
I want to
Yes,
talk.
I do.
You,
Or
of course, would remember
Manchester
that.
Explosion.
They were great.
Yes.
Can we talk healthcare for a little bit? I mean, we talked Jared Kushner. He hadn't made his statement yet before we went live here online. And then he's got to meet again behind closed doors with the House Intel Committee on Russian meetings that he had. But what about health care? We still don't know. I mean, this is like the preamble to the preamble, you know, because we don't know if they're going to have enough votes in the Senate to even start the debate. Will they be talking about repeal only, repeal and replace? I mean, you heard the one Senator Collins talk about, it was like my head was spinning.
Can I just say something quick about Susan Collins? Because my patience has worn completely thin. If your state is such a dump, go fix it. Instead of relying on, I'm going to pick on Maine. I'm going to pick on Maine. I'm going to pick on Alaska.
State.
If they're so beautiful, if they're so pristine, which they are, I'm from Oregon. That's also a beautiful state. Then fix it. Figure out a way to get the economy going, to get people jobs, instead of going back to the government spigot for more Medicaid. And if you need more Medicaid, it's not one size fits all for any state or any family or any community. And that's why you have to take the Graham bill, turn it into an amendment, and block grant that money to the states with federalism.
Let me just say, I'm from that part of the country, New Hampshire, but Maine, where it's, by the way, live free or die, no sales tax, no income tax, and a pretty reasonable property tax under the circumstances. But in Maine, it's the opposite. You get very heavy taxation, and it's very thinly populated, and consequently, it's very hard to make that economy work. So she has her work cut out for her.
Then get the government out of the way.
She hasn't put in the right policies, I agree. But healthcare, I don't know about you guys, I'm getting a little exhausted from this because I don't have very high hopes, and I feel like, they keep sort of setting us up.
Well, when you say you don't have high hopes, what's going to happen if they don't get anything done?
Oh, I think they'll get voted out of office, Harris. I mean, especially if this turns into a lack of...
I care about the American people.
Absolutely.
I care about that family. Some of those people who are Obamacare victims that the president says he's going to meet with at 3 p.m. Eastern today and give a statement. I care about them. What happens to them?
Are propped up to the tune of dozens of billions of dollars by the federal government, and they don't have any incentive to keep premiums low. In fact, the chaos is better for their bottom lines because they can keep raising premiums, saying that there's so much uncertainty, they don't know what's going to happen to the markets and to the exchanges. Therefore, they can charge people more money. They've got a mandate to do that because of Obamacare. And the levels of that are still in place are allowing that form of crony capitalism.
Here's the thing. You have to replace it with something. I'm sorry. I know a lot of people would like to just repeal it. You've already given people a sense of entitlement, right?
How much time do you give them to come up with a replacement? What do you trust them to do, Trish?
Well, Harris, they've had 7+ years, right?
Do you give them 2 more years? Because that's one bill that's on the table.
They want that because that deadline shows up after the midterm.
They sat there for 7+ years talking about how they were going to repeal this thing, and nobody could figure out what the heck they were going to replace it with. I mean, that's pretty bad. It shows you how dysfunctional that town is and how everybody's just thinking about the big headline repeal. Well, guess what, guys? You're actually going to do a little bit of hard work and figure out how you're going to actually make things better for the American people.
I just remember a week ago we were talking with Representative DeSantis, who was sitting right here on the couch with us, and he was saying, oh, no, we'll get something done this week because that's what the Senate has said they'll do, and they'll come up with their version, and we'll use an August recess delay in the Senate to go forward on some other issues. We're even considering it in the House and blah, 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 blah. And now we're at the beginning of a new week, and we're not hearing any of that talk. No one's talking about the August recess and how they're going to use the delay on tax reform and other things. We're still stuck on health care.
I just noticed your nails, and I was like, whoa, those are
okay. I did a chrome pastel fade this weekend, baby. Ooh la la. My hubby is out celebrating his 50th and left me alone with the women. And this is how we girls roll.
Beautiful. So I was at Freedom Fest this weekend in Las Vegas and had a chance to talk to several Republican lawmakers who were very frustrated, not only with members of their own party, but leadership. they're upset that people in power aren't being transparent at all. And it's difficult to have these conversations because, they're the ones, and these are the more liberty-minded, Mike Lee, Thomas Massey, Justin Amash, Andy Biggs.
Right.
And, they were talking about their frustration and their desire to lower premiums and improve health care in this country. And you do that by inserting much more of the free market than we've got right now. But they're disallowing it from the very top. And it makes the process incredibly difficult because the people who have rational voices, who have actual fixes, aren't allowed in the process.
Let me take the opportunity with a couple FBNers on the couch. The market's down 43 points right now. I wouldn't draw any conclusions from that. But how are they being affected by healthcare and lack of something getting done?
I don't think they really care yet. I don't think anything is sunk in. I think that the markets are very optimistic. Nobody wants to lose out on the party, right? And right now, it's kind of like a down payment on the Trump administration. They're out there bidding equity prices higher because they do have a belief that something will get done. And that something, I believe, is tax reform. They want corporate tax reform, and even if it's not 15%, if it comes out to 20%, hey, it sure beats 35%.
Yeah.
And that's in part what this market is betting on.
And if they could get serious about tax reform, because you're absolutely right, that's what will lift the economy. I think you're going to see that reflection in the market. That's the first.
Does that create momentum to get other stuff done?
Well, a failure of health care, I think, hurts the ability for Republicans to go big on tax reform, as we've heard again and again. I mean, they
either that or
they
puts more
wanted
pressure on them.
Well, yeah. I mean, if you listen to Republicans on Capitol Hill, they will say that they needed to pass the repeal by reconciliation to free up money so that they could do deficit neutral tax reform. Now they're saying we're just going to forget deficit neutral tax reform. We'll do it the way they want. I think they run into potentially some PR problems with that. Doesn't mean that they shouldn't do it, but I think people will have to sort of scale back expectations on big tax reform package if health care goes down. But the health care thing is such a debacle. I mean, it is such an embarrassing. If you favor actual free market health care reform, this thing is a crap sandwich. It's not great reform. Look, you can make an argument that it's better than Obamacare. Virtually anything is better than Obamacare, but this is not great. And the problem is Republicans are taking all of the grief for having a supposedly free market health care alternative without actually having a free market health care alternative. And I think this was the problem was early on. I thought that there was a better chance for Republicans to actually accomplish something by putting political pressure on moderates rather than giving moderates the heavy hand, which they have now. And repeal, delay, replace, I think would have done that more. There were problems with it. It was a long shot. But I think it would have, you pass the repeal, and then you say, we've got 2 years to come up with something.
Yeah.
Then everybody has
then
to
you
be
get
part
the
of a
process
constructive
started.
process.
And conceptually,
right.
At least that's the kind of win, and it may not be huge, it may not be comprehensive, but at least that puts you on a path to do more stuff and accomplish your agenda.
Well, and it puts pressure on the Republican moderates, and it puts conceivably pressure on Democratic moderates who are up in red states in 2018. But now moderates see that they've got the hand. I mean, they're running the show now, and it's you have to listen to people like Susan Collins and less people like Mike Lee.
I want to get to Facebook Live right now. The bubbles and the love hearts are going. I just love it. Lucia Vickers writes, love, love, love your show all the way from PA. Thank you very much. Christopher Hildebrandt writes, meet the tax and regulatory reforms to increase GOP jobs, wages, and wealth. Just move on. And Penny Betchley says, POTUS needs to shut up. No more tweets. I'm seeing now...
That's not going to stop.
No, and I'm seeing a trend. It has nothing to do with the fact that he doesn't have the right to tweet, which I think sometimes we get caught up in that. Well, should he never tweet? No. But look at last week. He had a formidable message going on at the beginning of the week. He was edging his way into making America great again, and then he rounds out with more Russia, I mean, we got more tweets going. But then, was it a save, Anthony Scaramucci, in the end? And that's a question.
What a week.
Yeah, people like Anthony Scaramucci on the live here. They're fans. I love the ladies. They're so smart and beautiful. Sorry, I just had to read that. So sweet. Thank you, Hepcat.
Are you on Facebook Live or on Outnumbered Overtime?
I'm on Facebook Live.
Okay, because Outnumbered Overtime, there's some very upset viewers that we haven't mentioned this yet.
Okay, go.
Rufus Sufer says, why are you not talking to us?
Go.
Let's see.
She is. She's talking with her thumbs.
Well, this one's directed at Kennedy.
Oh.
Kennedy, even people with jobs don't have health care. Not all employers offer health insurance. Okay, Kev.
Well, yeah, because what percentage? About 80% of people get their health care from their work. And so you've got 12 million who are out there without that.
How about the number of people who will now be uninsured, who aren't just being thrown off insurance? Those are people who are knowingly not signing up for health insurance.
Sure.
They're making a
big
conscious, rational choice.
And
There's a big difference.
Yeah.
All right.
All right.
Well, Republicans
Stephen
aren't
Hayes.
making that debate.
Not well.
You're getting more than they got done all day on Capitol Hill.
This was busy. This was busy. It was
right?
fun.
No,
Thank you.
Thank you for being here.
Thanks, Stephen.
All right. We'll see you tomorrow, everybody.